Well, let's now see how the All Progressives Party now stands after its extraordinary convention. We understand about 5,000 delegates will be taking part in the APC Congress. Bookmakers are of the view that the APC must have been riding high on the crest of the Speaker's defection to their party and the seeming implosion in the PDP as a result of the crisis in the Senate. Well, let's quickly review the last extraordinary convention of the APC. Over 5,000 delegates of the All Progressives Congress marched to the Old Parade Ground in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory, for its extraordinary convention. The chairman of the event, Governor Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara State, flagged off the occasion as he explained the need to amend the party's constitution in line with Nigeria's Electoral Act.
On behalf of members of Extra-National Convention Committee, to welcome you on this historic occasion that brings our party delegates from all nooks and crannies of this country for the purpose of amending some section of the constitution of our great party, APC.
Perfect, gentlemen.
The APC's National Party Chairman, John Oyegun, also condemned the level of corruption and the derailing economy in the country.
In all spheres of Nigerian life, this nation is worse off today than it was in 1999, when the PDP first assumed office. In the area of security and welfare of the citizenry, the main reason for the existence of any government, the scorecard of the PDP-controlled federal government is close to zero. Alhaji Twmbuwal, Right Honorable.
The high point of the event appears to be the presentation of the defected Speaker, Audu Twmbuwal, as a new member of the APC.
I hand over the broom to the Right Honorable Speaker and the newest member of the APC.
Come May 29th, 2015, we shall sweep away. You get the message?
We got it.
By the President's own admission, over 12,000 people have been killed by Boko Haram alone. Yet, the government still has no clue, not the slightest, as to how to end the killings, not minding that the sponsors of these terrorists are well-known collaborators in the ranks of the PDP.
The APC's presidential aspirants were also presented to the audience, except for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who was said to be unavoidably absent.
The tenure of members of the Board of Trustees.
Some of the amendments adopted by the APC include reduction of the tenure of the BOT members from 5 to 2 years and provision for a full waiver for defecting members. The motion for the adoption of the amendments was moved by Senator Lawal Shuaibu and seconded by Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress senators have accused their PDP colleagues of foisting impunity on the nation. With the APC's extraordinary convention, which entails amending some crucial aspects of its constitution to suit Nigeria's Electoral Act, how does the APC stand with the forthcoming 2015 elections? We had a chat with an APC leader and a former national chairman of the PDP, Audu Ogbeh. Mr. Audu Ogbeh also comments on the Speaker, Alhaji Twmbuwal's defection to the APC and the PDP's demand for the Speaker's resignation. He describes PDP's reaction as an exclusive lynching of the Speaker based on selective memory, citing PDP's double standard in addressing political issues. Mr. Audu Ogbeh also took out time to comment on the recent ideology of stomach infrastructure being mooted by some PDP governors. It describes stomach infrastructure as a tragic reality invented by the PDP.
We believe that members will also weigh the monetary gains against the needs of the party and the needs of the country. If they choose whichever way they go, then that's what democracy demands.
But when you look at the whole scenario, it seems it's not going to be easy as that. When you consider the nature of the merger of the APC, people feel it's been driven by migrants that have strong ambition. And going by the body language, do you think they'll be willing to concede defeat?
The word migrants I would be a bit uncomfortable with, but I'm telling you that, do you know the history of the PDP itself? 16 political groups came together in 1998. You understand? It will take a while for these parties to solidify. People are going to keep moving from one party to another for a while.
People have said that the APC is a conglomeration of strange bedfellows in terms of its ideology. How do you think?
We are not gays. So we don't have to be in love with each other, men and women together.
Well, I'm sure you know.
Is there complete unison in any party here? People are moving all the time, from APC to PDP, from PDP to APC. What is this talk about strange bedfellows? What is it about? What are the sharp ideological differences in Nigerian politics for now? You know them? It's still largely a game of people seeking relevance, seeking office. But the ideological differences will show as time goes on.
Are you saying that there is no ideological basis for those who defected to the APC?
There are some differences, right? Political, social differences. A desire for issues to be handled differently. You understand? And a question of trying not to practice a new doctrine of what I call moral flexibility. Nothing is wrong or right. It depends on the convenience of the government in power, which is what, unfortunately, has taken over the thinking in PDP.
Since this conversation has navigated down the route of defection now, one high point of the APC Extraordinary Convention was the unveiling of the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Twmbuwal, as a member of the APC. Does this have a legal justification, and isn't this going to have a legal boomerang in days to come?
Legal boomerang, let the courts decide. What has the legal boomerang is for the police to pronounce on constitutional matters and implement. I mean, what the police have done in stripping him of his security is an executive lynching of the speaker. I mean, how many months ago was it when a whole governor left his party to join PDP? There was no split in his party that any Nigerian can point at.
You mean which governor are you referring to?
The governor of Ondo State. In Ekiti today, the Speaker of the House, who refused to quit the PDP, I mean, to go to PDP from APC, is being hounded. His petrol station shot, he's being harassed. That's okay. If it favors PDP, all is well and good. If it doesn't favor them, then, you know, a man is guilty of murdering John Kennedy. I mean, what are we talking about? There can't be moral flexibility, impunity carried out at such a level for us to believe that in 2015 we shall have free and fair elections. So when the police IG says he got legal advice and begins to penalize the speaker, that is a lynching. And the PDP can't carry on doing these things because we are all threatening this democracy, as young as it is. You can't apply the rules wrongly when they favor you and celebrate wrongdoers when the rules favor you. And this is making us a laughingstock. Go to court. Prove to the world that he has broken the law. At any rate, in the case of Twmbuwal, they never wanted him from the day go. He had to enter the House of Assembly the day of his election, disguised, because the PDP wanted to detain him and prevent him from contesting. And the PDP had said that they had never heard of anything called zoning. So Twmbuwal and Ihedioha had decided, well, if there is no zoning, then we are going to contest. We are popular enough, and they won.
The recent Ekiti State election gives the APC as a state that had given way for this stomach structure. Because many bookmakers would say that if the governor has delivered in terms of the welfare of the people, the people would not succumb to the promise of stomach structure, to the fantasies of stomach structure with Governor Fayose is professing.
It's a tragedy, but I'll tell you what, it's also the reality. We have gotten to a stage in this country now where it's going to become extremely difficult, even for the finest performing governor to win an election. I have a theory that the democratic infrastructure as a whole is standing on a very feeble economic foundation. And like all structures like that, it is always in danger of crashing. Here we have a system in which 75% of the federal budget is spent on salaries and overheads, leaving 25% for real work. Roads, hospitals, schools, defense, those solid things that consume money, 25%. 75% is spent on less than 2 million individuals who run the government at the federal level. Then, of course, the rest of society can't grow. You have an interest rate regime of nearly 30%, which makes it impossible for the private sector to actually thrive. Although you're hearing of growth figures of 7%, it's wonderful. We are the largest economy in Africa. We should be. We have a population, we have a size, we have West and Central Africa to satisfy. But since 1986, interest rates in this country have stood at closer to 30% than anything else. And then you have the power problem. How can an economy grow? How can we create jobs? Why are we importing everything? Tomato paste from China, $100 million a year. Toothpicks, pencils, $3 or $4 billion a year to give to 24 million children in primary schools and some 18 million in secondary schools. Everything is being imported. You are, what do they call you, a consumer nation. Okay. And so the people are poor, and a week to the election, they will respond to Maggi cubes and rice.
Now let's come back to the issue of funding now. The APC's governors precisely have complained, they've raised an allegation that there is a subtle maneuvering by the federal government to starve them of funding with a view of frustrating the race towards the 2015 election. So now when you look at it, do you have a basis that the PDP governors are enjoying secret funding as against the Achilles heels that they are going to give to the APC governors in terms of allocation?
Well, the governors, I'm told, generally are having serious problems. The federal allocation is dwindling by the day, but the governors are arguing. The benchmark set for this year's budget was $75 naira to the dollar. How is it that, I mean, for the oil prices, how is it that even though we have never fallen below that benchmark, our allocations are dwindling? So they decided in their last meeting to go and meet with the president and ask him, what exactly is going on? I do not know what explanations the government will give. But they could say things like, well, maybe the insurgency, this and that, they have other problems. It's between them at that level to answer.
So before we wind down this conversation now, how do you see the APC against the PDP in the race for 2015 general elections?
What were the chances of APC coming together in the first instance? We know what we're doing, we're working. We're going to keep working harder. All we ask for is that this election be conducted in a free and fair manner. That troops do not get sent to locations wearing masks on official duty, as happened in Osun State. There is no reason for a policeman doing his legitimate duty to be masked. There's no reason for a soldier doing his legitimate duty on an election beat to wear masks. There's no reason for the bullying that went on out of fear of defeat. That's all we're saying. If things are done normally and we lose, we congratulate the winner.
And that will be all on this week's episode of Roadmap 2015. But don't forget to send your comments on our different social media platforms showing on your screen. Do join us next week for another exciting episode of the program on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru saying goodbye.